my little goslings, welcome back to my random thoughts on Thursdays. This week I am just going to have some reflections on the year 2013. Alright, first of all, I want to thank each and every one of you if you have been following my vlog for the year. Thank you for staying with me all this year. I really appreciate that. That makes you a true fan of my channel, and I do appreciate that. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season. I know Kwanzaa's just starting today, so if you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. Otherwise, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and Hanukkah and Festivus and whatever else people celebrate. I had a lovely Christmas dinner last night we had friends over. I cooked Christmas dinner. We watched the Doctor Who special, so, you know big geek here, so big surprise. And so yes, my husband and I, we had a really lovely holiday this year. And I just kind of wanted to, day after Christmas, sitting here in my little footy jammies, and just kind of reflect a little bit upon this last year and all the stuff that kind of happened in my life this last year. At the beginning of the year, one of the things I really wanted to achieve was to expand my business. Not necessarily by hiring employees, because that adds a level of complication that I honestly didn't want to deal with yet. And to be perfectly honest, with the kind of business that I run, a web analytics consulting, for those of you who don't know, I don't really need employees. I can do very well with just hiring other consultants as subcontractors to my business. And so that's basically what I've done. I've signed a total of about 5 other consultants who are under contract right now with me. I haven't been giving them a lot of steady work, but each and every one of them has done at least one project for me so far, and they've all worked out really well and have done really good work for me, so I've been very pleased with that. And I also formed 2 strategic alliances or partnerships with other analytics agencies, and basically I have a particular expertise in Adobe Analytics, and it's something that they're lacking with their agency. And so anytime they have a project for Adobe Analytics, they outsource that to me. And if I end up with a project that they have an expertise in, for example, core metrics or web trends or that kind of thing, then I outsource the work to them instead. And so that kind of lets me expand how I can do my business and everything. And in some cases I use my subcontractors, in some cases I use my strategic partners for projects. It really depends, I think, in some cases, the size of the project. I haven't had any yet, but if I end up getting like a really large analytics project in an area outside of Adobe Analytics, I would use a strategic partner. But for smaller projects and things, I tend to use my subcontractors. So it just kind of works out that way, and it actually works quite well so far. So I've been very pleased with that, and so that was a goal that I set for myself this year that I did meet, and I'm very happy with that. And I'm looking forward to further expansion next year. And in fact, my next vlog will be on New Year's Day, so my next vlog will be sort of a forward-looking vlog. I'll try not to talk too much of forward-looking in this vlog. Other things that happened, another huge thing was the fact that my husband and I bought a new house. So for those of you who may be new watching my vlogs, if you go back to April-May time frame, even before that, you'll see that I talk about moving. We bought the new house, we moved in, and then staged and sold the old house. Thankfully my husband was financially capable of doing that, so we didn't have to have a contingency of selling the old house in order to buy the new house, which a lot of people do. But my husband's always been very conservative when it comes to money and finances and things, and so he happened to just be able to put up enough capital to put a down payment on the new house, so that we didn't have to have the contingency. We could take our time, and we ended up selling the old house for a certain amount above the asking price. I'm not going to get into too many details, but we actually sold it for more money than we originally were asking for the old house. In the price point that the house was in, there was a lot of interest in people buying, and there wasn't a lot of inventory. There weren't a lot of houses on the market in that price point at the time, and because interest rates were really low, people were pushing the ask price and offering, you know, much more above. And thankfully the inspection held up with what they offered, and everything went smoothly. And you know, I've had a ball trying to, you know, make a home for myself, for my husband and myself here in this new house. As you can see, I've got this wonderful office set up in here, and I've mentioned this many times before. I've been wanting to do something on the other side of the camera that I'm looking at now. There's a wall and there's room back there where I could actually set up professional lights and do a whole filming thing where I have a backdrop and I can have props, or I can do something more interesting for the vlog. And I do plan on doing that, and that just hasn't come to fruition yet this year. I think one of the main reasons I haven't done it yet is because even though I did have success expanding my business, I did have a pretty big slow period this summer. There were 2 months this summer where I really didn't have a lot of projects coming in and a lot of work coming in, and so I'm still recovering from that, just not getting the income that I was hoping for to come in. And it's just the nature of consulting. You know, there's ups and downs and things, and I'm still trying to find the right level of mix of clients and work and projects for my subcontractors and everything, so that I'm not completely overwhelmed, but at the same time I have a fairly steady amount of income coming in. So still kind of working on that aspect of it, but I'm hoping that by next summer that things will have improved greatly, and hopefully by then I'll have the more professional setup for my vlogs, so that I can have the kind of background that I want, and that kind of thing. So we'll see about that. And again, I'm doing forward thinking. That's next week's vlog. But yeah, I mean, those were the really two biggest things I think this year, was the expansion of my business and the house, and all that entails really, and then just trying to work on recovering from the slow period that I had this summer, and just kind of really focusing on that. And I guess another thing I've kind of worked on was trying to be more steady and consistent with posting videos. I know while we were moving, I kind of dropped almost off the face of the planet, and I wasn't posting almost anything. There was just not enough time for me to film my videos and edit them and post them while doing all the moving and also working. And at the time that we moved, I was actually in a very busy period with my consulting. I was very, very busy through the end of May, and then it was in June when things slowed down. And we moved May 4th, and we sold the other house in early June. So like during like all that time when I was working on, like, we were packing and moving into the new house and then staging the old house, and and the staging, part of the staging was just scrubbing the house from top to bottom. I mean, we kept the house fairly clean. We had a housekeeper at the time, and we actually don't have a housekeeper at the moment, and I definitely need to get one again. But the house was, it was clean, but once you've moved a lot of furniture out, there's like whole areas of the house that you couldn't get to before that had like layers of dust on it, like behind the bookshelves and that kind of thing. And so there was quite a bit of cleaning that hadn't happened that needed to happen, and that took a lot of work to do. I mean, our housekeeper helped to a degree, but even they didn't have the time to put in. It took, between my husband and I and the housekeeper, I don't even know how many hours we put in, giving that house a thorough, like, top to bottom scrub, to make sure that the new owners, when they move in, they moved into a clean house. I mean, I think between the time we staged it and the time they moved in, There was about a month, so there was probably a little of dust accumulation since then, but we wanted it to be as clean as possible before they moved in, so that was a lot of work. But yeah, that was it. I mean, we didn't really travel this year. I mean, I went to Vegas for my birthday, and I did go to my 2 conferences this year. I went to my Adobe Summit in March, and I went to the eMetric Summit in June. And so I did 2 business trips and the birthday trip, and that was pretty much it. And we're not going to travel the rest of the year either. There's not much left to the year. So anyway, that was my year. That was my 2013. How was your 2013? Anything interesting to share? If you do, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear how your year went, good, bad, and otherwise. You know, please share. And if you're still watching this, you know, if you are enjoying my vlogs, please give them a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I really do appreciate the subscriptions. And I do hope to see you next year. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.